Hello, internet humans. I feel like playing some video games. So I am going to try some video games on this what is it? CommodoreGames.net/Vic-20, play Vic-20 games online. I'm going to try to find manuals where I can on archive.org, but I thought I would try out basically anything I can viably play. I know some of these are in other languages, but there's quite a few games. I thought it would be interesting to try to play through everything to see what they're like, kind of look at it from a game development point of view. A lot of these are probably going to be games that would be really good starter projects if you're just starting with game development, because they are so simple and you just don't have a lot of RAM to work with. So I'm going to try out different games. I'll put up the name and we'll kind of see how it goes. This one is 3 Deep Space. It looks like it is also for BBC Micro and Commodore 64, so this is just a VIC-20 port. It doesn't really have a start screen as far as telling any instructions, but it seems to work with my gamepad plugged in. Ow, that's loud. I don't really know what the goals are, though it seems like I can only shoot purple guys. Are there any other keys I can press? I don't know. Actually, this is just working with my little USB NES controller. Also getting hit by red and blue doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, never mind. Okay. Pressing up and down changes my gun type. Okay. That's weird. So then I can distance these out more. I guess the challenge is in aligning yourself with the spaceships that are coming to the pyramids. Oh, it's getting harder. They're actually moving. So this would be a pretty easy game to make. It would just be every so often you have a couple enemies spawn. They would have their XY coordinates. Oh, I have to change my alignment. Ah! Nothing seems to happen if I let them pass by. This is a little bit too fast paced for me to actually get to these. The logic for these guys just seems to go to the right. So if you know which guy is coming, I think maybe they always followed the same kind of pattern. So again, then you wouldn't even have to like randomly select how to behave for these enemy AI. It would just be like spawn, immediately move to this amount of pixels left, or this amount of X left, this amount Y. And it seems to get harder over time. And then you press up and down to change your ship type. Though that's... Oh, did I die? I think I died from getting hit by the purple ship. Though this is kind of confusing because you'll have to remember that purple is going to be where red is. It's not going to be like red and blue are going to be on either side of your purple ship. But I feel like if there were more screen real estate, this could be a lot more fun. And maybe it was more fun on other systems like the Commodore 64. As it is here, it seems pretty rudimentary. Not a lot going on, but it still could be a really good starter project. This one is a 3D maze, so I might need to adjust to these. Okay, so I, J, K, M, not quite my preferred keyboard layout, but I'll try it out. So it gives you some instructions. Look for exit graffiti. You can have a map by pressing question mark, but maps take up time. You're told which way you're facing. The clock is stopped when you walk out. For a random maze, hit return. When asked for a number, press B to begin. So it's asking for a seed at the start. And it's going to give me maze 1, generating maze by Llamasoft. Let's see. Okay, so it's rendering. We got kind of a brick texture. K and J turn. Okay, and M, now I'm facing north. Pink Floyd, The Wall. So rendering is pretty slow. Different walls have different images on them. I guess that means it's a dead end, doesn't it? So I have to turn around. There's a long hallway. We can go slowly forward. Question mark is the map, isn't it? So let's see. I don't know if that will map on my normal keyboard because Vic-20 is kind of weird. I don't... Oh, there we go. Okay. So it generates kind of like a tile maze. So it'd just be wall versus empty space. And you'd have to write it so that you make sure that there is a way to get to the end. Oh, it did that automatically, so... Oh, okay. I guess it's just queuing up my inputs because I wasn't pressing anything. So it looks like we just go north. We have to go north. The west walkway is going to be easier. I don't know how to make sense of this from here. I'm going to wait till this input stops detecting things I held down a minute ago. Okay, so I think we're good. I can load up the little map again. I am currently also looking for the manual. There is a Llamasoft archive page, so we can look at that here in a second. But basically, yeah, you generate, here's your starting point, there's an ending point. I usually just generate, like, give me a random X value and Y value for the start, for the end, and then generate room, locations, and then connect them. Man, this game is slow. I am... Okay. This is really slow for the Vic-20. We are going to move on to one of the other Labyrinth maze games, just because this thing is so slow. Let's... I don't know if 3D Labyrinth 2 is anything. Labby, word erstellt. We will try this 3D maze game instead. So this one's not by Llamasoft. I'm gonna hit... Oh, you just hit a button for a new maze. Okay, this one is pretty linear. We'll hit F1 to go. Hit a key to play. Okay. And again, let's see, what is the controls? Oh, okay. So we're actually in first person. It is quote-unquote 3D. It just shows you a map to start off with, and you have limited air. Now, actually writing this as a starter game, I wouldn't suggest, just because you have to implement these 3D views. You'd still program the maze as 2D, because clearly we're not going up or down at all. But then you just have to add logic in there to say, okay, if this is a room with, you know, a left exit and a right exit, you'll do it this way, you'll draw this perspective. You can either draw these with lines like they're doing here, it looks like, or these days I would just make different bitmap images or whatever to show each possible perspective you could have. Or these days you could just use 3D rendering. But, I mean, at least making a 2D maze wouldn't be too hard. Hey, I made it out. Do I just hit the button again? So you'd have a start location, end location, or whichever, and you would basically generate coordinates for each. I usually generate like a series of XY coordinates for different rooms, and then I connect the rooms. That's just how I kind of basically do a little maze thing. And then you would just have some sort of movement. So if it was like, in this case, you could do something really easy without really complex collision detection and say, oh, if that room is an empty block, then you can move there. But if it's not an empty block, if it's one of our wall tiles, like if you're doing an ASCII maze, then you can't move there. Okay, let's look at something else. 3D silicon fish. So let me also look this up over here. I guess we just hit F1. Oh. This looks like a more modern game. This is probably something more modern. Let me look. It looks like this was made in 1984 from what I'm seeing online, which is pretty impressive. I thought this might be like a modern ROM hack or something. Oh my gosh, what is going on? We need to... Look at all these effects. Look at all these colors. I don't know what's happening though. Okay. We're gonna go try to collect explosions? Oh, yep, those are some kind of like Bomberman-like explosions. Okay, don't get caught in the explosions. Again, you could do collision pretty easily and just say these are blank spaces versus these are not, and then let's see if these bombs, do they take the entire... No, they have a range, so they don't go like the entire hallway. So you would need to check if it's within range during an explosion. I like how these walls all look 3D because they've kind of textured them in a certain way. I don't know what the goal here is. I'm just cruising around and trying not to blow up. And it just spawns bombs. And then you can see, like, I feel like if we're in water, like we're seeing chunks of land go by. I'm gonna look for the manual. Okay, here's the wiki page. So we are sent to a dangerous area with a silicon fisher vehicle to gather the silicon and transport the cargo back to Earth. There's a stream that flows from the top to the bottom. Navigate through the maze. Look for silicon that floats in the river. Collect the silicon by positioning the vehicle towards where it's going. Okay, let's try that out and see if that actually works for us. Let me position that. Okay, so for instance... Oh no. Ah! Where is it? No, I missed out. Okay. Those are not in a spot where I can get to them. Oh. But maybe if I try to get this one, there's a bomb in the way. Just waiting for that bomb to explode. There we go. Can I get to one that comes down this way? Okay, yeah, we're just gonna hang out here. Did I collect the bomb? I don't think so. And it flashes a lot. Okay, I also don't know what the controls are, but we apparently... Oh! We have a net. Okay. So... I'm too late for that one, but... It's hard to... Okay. There's one coming down this way. Hopefully we don't get a bomb. Did I get it? The response time is kind of slow. Okay. No bombs. I'm gonna... Okay, that one flashed. Looks like we got that one. This is such a weird game. Maze games were definitely popular back then because Pac-Man and a bunch of kind of copying. Okay. But the gameplay itself is pretty simple. I wouldn't suggest this as like the first game you could make, but you can definitely start with something simpler and kind of work your way up. The actual gameplay is not that difficult. You just have several different things going on at once, which is why I would suggest something else as a starter game. But basically, like, let's say you implement maybe your random maze thing, and then you move on to have like a character that moves around and you detect an input. If that input happens, you change the state for a few seconds. You have a countdown timer in there. You have another countdown timer for spawning these enemy things in. And then they each have their own timer as well for their state changes. So it wouldn't be hard. It'd just be several different things that you'd have to implement. And then they all kind of interact together. You have to do this. Is your spatula on the correct square? Again, if you're making like a grid-based game and you're not doing purely tile-based, or sorry, not purely pixel-based, checking tiles is a lot easier than checking like the pixel area, but still doable. Okay, so we'll try a different thing now. We'll check out this 3D tic-tac-toe. Fire button to play. Player number 1. Am I entering my name or a yes or a 1? I don't know. Player number 2. 3. Oh. Okay, so we have... Wait, how do I go to the other? Okay, I have to keep hitting the right cursor button. Or I don't know what it is on the keyboard. I'm just using my joystick. And I have to navigate to the position I want. So I am going to put my X here. Does not look so good as far as a 3D perspective look goes. But I suppose it's fine. I'm going to try to get a stacked tic-tac-toe. This actually also wouldn't be that hard to implement. It's just like they've drawn the graphics to look 3D, but it's really just what, 9 times 3, 18 positions, and you just press left or right to scroll between them. So if you were like just implementing them like position tic-tac-toe tile as a struct or a class, you could just have an array of 18 of them. And you just go through the different indices, and then you have them marked if they're X or O. And then the harder part would be doing the check to see if you have a tick or attack. I don't know what you call when you succeed, what it's called, but that would be the main thing where you'd have to check. If it's 2D, like a 2D tic-tac-toe board, it'd be, you know, your column, your row, or diagonals. You'd also have to add in logic for the z-axis or, you know, the y-axis, depending on which coordinate system you're using. So wouldn't be too hard. Worst case scenario, you could just write a bunch of if-else statements at first, and then you could like simplify the Boolean logic after that. But yeah, this is pretty simple. Okay, this is 3D Time Trek. So you're not allowed to copy it, but I'm not the one who copied it. What are we doing? I don't know. Something is green. Oh. Long range sensors. Aliens, planet, space. Press control. Let's see. I assume that maybe this is the Commodore 64 version of the game. This is the manual. Empty, aliens, planet for damage repairs. Control to return to normal scanner. It's a little hard for me to read this at this low size. So it looks like there are different places you can explore. Let me see. Is it my control key on my actual keyboard? Do I press the start button on my joystick? Oh, something happened. Okay, I went to long range sensors view, maybe? I don't know. It would be nice if they had given an instruction in the game screen, but that was not super common during the day. Just gonna hit various keys on my keyboard. I don't see a whole lot happening. Well, it is there if you want to play it. 8-player Panic. Now this also looks like some kind of ROM hack, or, you know, I don't know what you would call it, like homebrew scene Vic-20 game. I'm gonna look it up real quick. Okay, all I really see is a video from 2012 of people playing this. So, I don't know. Let me see. I don't have 8 people. 8-player interface, per division 4-player up to 3 players. I don't know. Do I press a button? This might not... Oh. Okay. Well... There is a video of it on YouTube. Joystick inputs. want to see it play. That's pretty cool. But I assume that since this is just on my computer and not networked to anything else, it's not going to work. Okay, looks like another maze game. P, semicolon, period, L, or the joystick. Oh, I missed that. Let me reset real quick. And look at that second screen. Okay, maybe we weren't supposed to look at that second screen. we got a little Pac-Man clone. Oh, I do not like the sound effects of just, we're gonna keep playing a high-pitched tone if you hit the wall. You can see that this is also tile-based and not pixel-based. Vic-20 was hard to program for and didn't have like dedicated sprites from what I understand. If you wanted smooth scrolling, you'd basically be animating within the tile itself. Be like, here's half of Pac-Man in one tile and half of Pac-Man in the other. Okay, those were... But again, if you generated this as a tile-based game, collision would be pretty easy. Though tile-based movement is not really great feeling. Okay, I keep trying to eat these ghosts, but it's not working. A game with instructions. Andromedan aardvarks are attacking Earth. Your alphanumeric radar can save Earth. First, recognize the bomb A to Z, then save the city 0 to 9. Okay, I still don't know what to do, but we're gonna try. Alphanumeric weapons. Which level? Novice. Okay. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Oh, there's an E. Do I just type E? No, it's 3? Do I hold 3? What am I doing? I don't know how to play. Are we going to be attacked by the 3 on the E? This looks like it was just built with the character set from the Vic-20. Okay, I think I got it. Maybe the input's really laggy here. Because if you're just using like the character set and writing a game with like pure basic, this is pretty slow. I'm gonna... I guess... I hit R and 2, so we'll see if one of these catch up to us. It looks like there's the 10 positions. It randomly selects a letter from A to Z. Then it randomly selects a position from 1 to 0, but, you know, 0 to 10. Or 0... Yeah. 0 to 9. And then every cycle it just makes the thing fall down by adding to its Y coordinate. And you have to hit the correct number, I think. And so it's basically like a timer for you to hit the number. So not too hard, would be pretty easy to implement. I would just do it on a computer that is faster than this. If you do it on a modern computer, you could make this much more fun. Looks like we have another Llamasoft game here. At least that's what said on the little listing. I'm just waiting for... Oh! There. Wow. Rude. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like, I've heard the term, I've heard the name Llamasoft. I just don't know if I played any Llamasoft games as a child. Because again, like, my first computer was like a DOS or early Windows computer, but it looks like they were really good at kind of making the most of this and using like whatever they had available to make like special effects and stuff. So you'd be like, oh yeah, a new Llamasoft game just dropped, let's play that. It's still kind of hard because my movement, it's not quite tile based, but it still isn't as smooth as like per pixel based. So it's hard to line up these shots. It is taking all my people, and then I get crushed by their skulls. So here, like, the hard part would be kind of implementing the pathing of your enemies. That would be something you would basically just spend the most time on. Otherwise, the gameplay is pretty simple. Oh, wait. I don't even know. Those look like just flying playing cards or something. Okay, this looks like a card game. Acey Ducey. I don't know how to play. This is a game of cards where you're dealt 2 cards face up. Okay. You bet on the next card being between the value of the first 2. Okay. I have £100. Your first 2 cards, queen and an ace. Sounds like pretty good chances. I guess I'll do 50. Wait, am I betting that it is going to be or not going to be? Okay. If I'm planning on this not being... What's an A5? 2 and ace 5? Does the ace count as the start or as like the highest value? Oh, a king. Okay, 9 to a king. So if it's beneath that? Okay, we're also talking inclusive. So I guess including inside of that area. So I assume the ace is the largest one. So I'm going to not bet anything. Oh. I have to bet something. I can't not gamble. Yay. Three and a 5. So if it's a 3, 4, 5, I lose, I assume? I think this random number generator is rigged. Wait, okay, it was a 5. Okay. So if it's between, but not including, then I guess you win. Seven and a 9. Probably low chance. I don't know. I just want to I want the game to lose, to end. You've not enough cash to continue. Okay, well... Gameplay-wise, would not be too hard. You're displaying text to a screen. Okay. You have a variable for your amount of cash. You have to store the cards, so you could do that as like a basic struct or something with your... Well, actually, you don't need to store or the suits. You don't need to store the suits, just the values. But you'd need to make sure that, let's say if you did 0 through 12, then you'd have to make sure that, am I doing that right? 0 would be an A. No, 1 would, you'd have to kind of figure out how you want to map it. So there's no 0 or 1 card, but you have an ace, you have a jack, queen, and king after your number 10. You just have to figure out how you want to map those together, and then if they're in an array, you can like randomly select between those things. Then it would be figure out which one's lower, display that one first, and then the other one, grab a bet, and then generate another random index for a card. If it's between that area, then win, else lose. Okay, we'll try this one. This is probably all I have time for tonight. Score 0, min 3, press spacebar. Oh. Can I use the joystick? No, it does not look like it. But, okay. I'm jumping with J. I must have a crouch button. This is going to take a while. This is our Google Chrome dinosaur game, but in the ancient times. Okay, I don't know all the keys, but it looks like S. Here, 1, go. S is crouch, like that. So we're gonna do that. Avoid these happy faces. D is like a... Oh wait, F is a flip. Like a little cartwheel. And then there's jump, so I don't know why we would need a cartwheel goes pretty far. So a normal jump, you do that. But then once we maybe have more things on the screen, we need the whole cartwheel, or, you know, whatever you want to call it. So again, since this is tile-based, that would also be pretty easy to implement. You just have a series of things going by, you check to see if the player is in a certain state, and if they are intersecting, you know, if they're in the wrong state at the wrong time. So basically, if their x-coordinate matches this, and they're not in the jump state, then they lose. But if their x-coordinate equals that, and they're in the jump state, then they're good. Jump state, for the next 3 cycles, they're in the air, or whatever, you know, 2 cycles, something, and so on. Otherwise, you get hit. The art here, I mean, you could just, at this point in time, use graphics and just scroll them backwards. Same for the ground. Since this is tile-based, like, this guy's not actually moving, it's just moving the entire world as well. So, this is called Acrobat? Oh, okay. I guess. It's just dude running in the mountains, jumping over boxes and avoiding happy faces and X's. So, you know, very abstract. Avoid the music. Avoid the box. Avoid the Pac-Man. Avoid the squid. Avoid the happy guy. No Pac-Man. No X's. No X's. I don't know why it flashed, like I hit the wrong button. Avoid the clubs on the ground. Avoid the television. Okay, no clubs. I hit that too late. But yeah, you get the idea. So, some of these I might actually implement in something like Scratch, just because it would be pretty interesting. And pretty easy to do. The games are pretty simple. So that would be pretty cool. I'm going to go through more of these another time, but currently it's August and it's hot in my computer room. So I only have a little bit of energy for this at a time. But thanks for checking this out. Hopefully you found it interesting. Let me know if there's any games you're looking forward to, or if you'd like to see any of these specific ones built in Scratch or other programming languages.